Hey guys, it's Mike from Make Time Online, and this is just a quick walkthrough over to give you an inside look into what is in Podcourse. This is something that I always do whenever I'm like trying to buy something. I always want to try and find something that's actually inside, so just so you can actually see, see it like it's legit, and that, that you're actually going to get some real content and stuff like that. So first of all, I'm just going to show you this. Basically, the Podcourse program is broken down into 91 HD video lessons. There's the 60-page Podcourse workbook, and it has checklists and everything like that in it, and then also the private Podcourse community. So going back into the program, there's basically 13 modules in Podcourse. So there's just the welcome one, which includes in joining the community. So there's the Facebook community. Just thought I should probably show you inside the podcast private Facebook community as well. So obviously it's still really new, but you can see there have already been people posting in here that have joined the course and people that are going to be here to actually help people out. One of the great things that I think about joining like a new course like this is that you're going to get way more attention from people like Pete and people that are already podcasting than you would, and people that are going to be helping each other, than you would if you join a community with like thousands of people, and you can just end up getting a bit lost basically. So that's one of the real good positives I see as well about actually joining a community like this and a private Facebook group where you're going to get direct access to Pete. And also the workbook is there as well, so you can kind of get the workbook straight away, print it out, or just kind of use it on the actual computer. What I think is just so good about it, so obviously it has the outline and everything like that. Let's just quickly go through it. So there's the stuff you need and stuff you don't, so that's the equipment. Designing your show, so that's a really important stage which I did not do when I started my podcast. I did not even think about any of these things, so it's so important to actually do this if you want to kind of like hit the ground running and get your podcast out there. Finding your voice, which is a topic which I haven't really seen anyone talk about online. It's not really something that particularly for like podcast courses or anything that I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that, because all the stuff I've done is just completely free and just try to piece everything together myself. So it's really, that was one of the most interesting sections for me to make it really stand out. Becoming a world-class host, just some little things about how to actually get your guests and kind of like making them stand out, as making your guests interesting. Like what questions Pete even puts in there, questions that you can actually ask. And I just think that, again, that section, I've written it to the back of my notepad. Here you go. I've just put that in there just so that whenever I've got interviews or anything coming up, I have my questions just always to hand basically now. And it's amazing at how effective some of those questions are. I'm going to start trying it out ASAP. Where was I up to? Becoming a world-class host, and then guest management. So booking your guests, there's a great little tool that Pete gives, which is free, just to actually schedule your guests rather than back to and forth, throw in and saying, can you do this time, that time? It's great for time zones as well. For me, I'm normally based in Qatar, so I'm always at weird times for the US, so it's perfect. Recording and creating your show, just the tools. What I really like about Pete's course with inside Podcourse is the fact that he promotes the best tools. He doesn't promote the most expensive ones, the ones that are going to give him the most affiliate commission. He actually shows different ones that he's personally tried, and also other options that are kind of out there, and kind of gives recommendations and things for what he would do. And which I just think is so important from someone that I want to learn from. Creating show notes, he shows you how to do this super quick, but also, making high return on investment. So you're not just putting rubbish show notes together, but also you don't want to be spending hours. Well, you might want to spend hours on them, but also in there's some ways, which I've done in the past as well, is try and make like epic long form content, which is good for SEO, which is relevant to like a podcast that you might have. You might even put like 2 or 3 podcasts in there. Launching your show, again, like I said earlier, actually launching it can be basically, when you launch a podcast, you can get onto the new and noteworthy, and if you can do that, that's a really good way to scale it quick, and it only lasts for kind of new shows. So that section is perfect for that. podcast monetization, which I just thought was amazing. It shows you how to find sponsors right now from day one. Even if you think that you are literally nobody, Pete shows you how you can actually make money before you even publish one episode. And it is possible. People do actually want to pay people to get more promotion and advertisement and things like that. He will show you how. Easy, efficient editing. This one is so good because it just shows you how to automate things, how to just kind of keep it in line, and then the tool walkthrough, which is just really goes into depth over loads of different tools. And also the bonus, which I thought this bit was one of my favorite bits actually, is growing your show. So let me just show you inside. So basically Pete just kind of like walks you through. He just kind of, straight away says hi.
Hello, welcome to Podcourse.
Look at that energy. I was watching it on Times 2. But like I've just kind of gone through all of those different things. So, some of the bits that I really like, nailing down your show intro. He talks about how
I decided to make a completely separate video because this point is incredibly important. Keep your intros short to your podcast. I know you want to set up the guest.
So that's something that I took a lot away from as well. And it's something that I have worked on actually recently within my own podcast, but I didn't really know why I was doing it. I just wanted to get some like important information out there at the start. So like I said, this part here, I just think this is, is so much great content here.
You guys know what NPR is? National Public Radio. Huge, all the giant of audio broadcasting over the past several decades, and podcast giants as well. Look at all these shows right here. Planet Money, Wait, Don't Tell Me, How I Built This with Guy Raz.
But he shows you how, don't try and outbeat people that you can't beat. Be yourself. And he shows you actually how to find your own voice and you build your own tribe, build your own actual audience rather than sort of trying to be someone that you're not, which I just think there's so many little great tips in there, even like practical tips. So it's kind of the same, everything the whole way through. There's so many practical things. Buy your guest 5 seconds. That was something that was just brilliant. And I've not really heard of that before, but you can see how effective that would be, trying to make your guest actually look good and be interesting. So like, as you can see, they're just full of videos, but they're not just videos of Pete just talking at you. There's tips. You use the workbook to actually go through with the checklist and things like that. There's actual sections where you can actually write the things down and design your show properly from the start, which I wish I had done because that would make such a difference for your overall podcast. And then one of the bits that I really liked is the monetization, getting sponsors, get sponsors pre-launch. He literally shows you how to do it.
All right, it's time to talk about the hustle. If you are a brand new podcaster, which you probably are if you signed up for Podcourse. Here's one from actually earlier this year, or actually this was last year, I suppose. Can I make that bigger? I cannot. Okay, sorry. Oh, I was literally in a conversation with this guy who I already knew in mid-email. I was like, hey, and while I have you here, who's the appropriate contact at Lindy.u? He's the founder of that company, to reach out to for podcast sponsorships. I'm starting a new personal finance podcast.
There's so many great things in there, and he'll literally show you exactly how to find them. The other thing that he does all the time is just give you his exact checklist. So there, sponsorship tracker. And this is Airtable, and he has a few of these different things in Airtable, which you literally just then click on copy paste, and this is then yours, and you can actually use this. It's just already set up, so you can kind of change these things to suit you. So in here, I would put a sponsor name that I'm trying to get, and you can change the status, you can change the first email. It's just super easy. So here's the one that I actually then had copied and made my own, and you can kind of see you can change all of these, whether it's first email, second email, third email, whether you've contacted them on social media, and then also I've changed them all to no response, and you can put maybe, accepted, no. You can put the exact dates and everything like that. It just makes it super simple rather than you have to create all these things yourself. It is all in there, and it's just so like the editing and things like that. I've done this for 18 months now. I've been doing exactly like editing, recording, podcasts and things like that. And I just took out little things. The great things for me is ways that you can automate things and make it streamlined, and just rather than, because I still kind of have to keep chopping and changing little bits all the time. And I've naturally created my own system, which kind of works for me, but I've just got so many little tips and things like that from going through this. And then also he actually gives you a tool walkthrough of all these different tools. So he's not just saying use this, because everyone might have their own little thing, GarageBand, I don't know how you say that. GarageBand goes on to, it's the American thing, it confuses me. If you go into there, that's obviously only on Mac. So he doesn't just only use Mac, he actually uses different ones. And I think he now uses Logic Pro. I still use Audacity, and I'm still going to use Audacity. And that's why Pete gives you all of these tools. He shows you free ways to do it. Even hosting, he can show you how to get free hosting, which is huge. I would have saved money if I took Podcourse before I started my podcast. Anyway, guys, just a quick look inside. I know how helpful that always is for me when I'm looking at buying a course, so I hope that helps you too. Take care.